I recently shot 4 short films on the Cooke SP3s, and I had those lenses totally for free. I'm gonna break down exactly how it all happened and give you my thoughts on them. A couple months ago, I went on Eventbrite and I was just looking for networking events in Los Angeles. And I had seen this event called DCS Cine Lens Day. I was like, okay, it was totally free. And then I saw that lens companies would be there. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm totally in. Let's go do this. So before I went, I realized I was like, okay, I have friends who've gotten, and I've seen other influencers, and I am by far not an influencer by any means. I have very, very little following, but I've got some decent work behind in my portfolio. And I was like, I know others have gotten free stuff to borrow or to use, and they've got sponsored, you could say, by some of these bigger companies. So I just said, screw it, let's go for it. So I went, and there were big companies like Canon, Arri, Cooke, DZO, Sony, Fuji was there, Sigma was there, and I just started going up to the different booths, introducing myself. And I just asked, hey, do you sponsor or, do you lend out or loan any gear to upcoming filmmakers? And basically almost all of them said yes, they do. And at the very end, the last booth I went to, because it was on the top floor, was Cooke. It was being hosted at the Cooke office out in Burbank, California. And I started just chatting with the guy. And I had just found out they had launched recently their new SP3 lines, which are these small body Cooke lenses. You get the amazing look and quality of a Cooke lens, but on a very small, like single operator type lens. And it fits on a camera as small as like the FX3. What was so cool about them is that they came in E mount and RF mount, and I had wanted to try out the FX3 for different projects. This is the perfect opportunity to rent an FX3. With building a relationship with them, I asked, hey, could I borrow them? And they were like, totally. We're going into the slow season, and you can borrow it for a week. All they asked was if I had gear insurance, and I did. Gave them a certificate of insurance, and I then had them, which was really, really rad. My wife, Courtney, and I then got to working on what scripts we're going to do and what projects we're going to work on these. One of the things I wanted to test out on the FX3 was their low light capabilities. So I came up with 2 different sci-fi short films, Anomaly and The Warning, which both just shot at my house with very small gear. Basically, the only lights I shot with were little Aputure MC Lights and the lights that were in my house already. And I did use a 120D just to give us a little bit more light in the house at times. Essentially, it was a really small footprint. What was so great about the camera and lens package was the FX3 has this dual native ISO. It's shooting at 12,800 ISO, which was incredibly valuable for being able to shoot at night with essentially a no lighting package. The SP3s were so easy to use and were really lovely lenses because they gave just a really great quality of light, a really great quality of just color and the light that it captured. And I love that because it's just me there with the camera and operating the entire thing, that I could just do the whole thing. I didn't need a big rig. I didn't need to rig it out or anything like that. Like I could shoot high quality film with just an FX3 and an SP3 lens. So it was Thanksgiving on Thursday. And then that weekend, that Saturday, I had been following up with my buddy Jesse, and I had sent him 2 scripts that I was like, dude, we can bust these out in one day, 2 short films. I would love for you to star in them. He's like, 100%, I'm there. Let's get it done. These are hilarious. They're dark comedies. And he and I had been wanting to work on something that was kind of action-based, but also dark comedy, and to really kind of flex those muscles. Again, these were these lenses just were able to shine bright in them. We had, again, next to no lighting. So the lesson I kind of want to leave with any filmmakers that are watching this or any other artists that are watching this is don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to reach out and to just, see what happens, because worst comes to worst, you say no. Worst comes to worst, that brand says no, or that person says, no, I'm not interested. But you never know. so many people have like, how did you get to work with Cooke? Is because I just asked. And so really, that's one of the biggest lessons that I'm even taking for myself moving forward is like, just ask. Ask if that person wants to be in your film. Ask if that person wants to collaborate. Ask if that company wants to work together, because they might just say yes, which is awesome. And then you get to build a relationship, find out what's mutually beneficial for both of you, find out how you can provide value to them. So that's just a little behind the scenes, a little insight into working with Cooke, into those lenses, and how I kind of got away with it all.